To the vital materialist, the chandelier is better understood as a volatile mix of sand, sweat, gravity, fire, electron streams, optical illusions, refractions, status symbolism and profit motives, heat, lifestyles, suspension, fantasies of mastery, string, static, luxury, cabling, economic theory and leverage, to name but some of the actants. This cacophony of effective emission transforms the space in which it lives without creating any noise. It seizes our attention with all its contradictory splendor and transcribes its unique signature onto our hearts and minds. The elan inherent to its specific arrangement is almost dictatorial in nature as it reconfigures our emotional landscape. The chandelier has the same net effective connotations as the epic poem of the sirens. It is both beautiful and potentially lethal, fragile yet imposing. It seduces us with all its opulent charm, but instills fear at the sheer impossibility of its suspension from a great height. It is by nature a disobedient object. The narrative tool which Homer uses to connect us to Odysseus' plight is to combine seduction with threat. He uses this tension to latch onto our awareness and steer it into the heart of his story. The phrase being moved may very well refer to this journey from one emotional state to another. It is the aim of this work to help illustrate how the framing of these effective transitions by the artist helps provide the underlying cohesion between us and their work. There can be no doubt that this complex affective radiation contained within the chandelier is the reason behind its constant reappearance across cultures worldwide as both dramatic and a comedic tool. When the incongruence of affect is stacked within an object, it can be exploited bidirectionally. Negative affects followed by positive affects will likely cause laughter or smiling. Positive affects followed by negative affects will likely cause repulsion. Whilst a great deal of energy is spent on the politics of affect, the economy of affect, and the phenomenology of affect, artists have been experimenting with the topology of affect since the dawn of human expression. Perhaps because of grid aversion, the arts have often treated feelings and emotions as a sequence of peaks and valleys, where the most observable quality is the place where the transitions between positive and negative affects take place. It is on these borders, these emotional conflict zones, where we find Homer's flawed heroes and heroines, where the edgy comedienne tap dances across the laser beams of a taboo subject, and where we fall in love with the deranged but likable criminal of our favorite TV show. Like a school of flying fish, affects can only really be seen when they leap out of the murky waters of consciousness and crash back down again. Once documented, these transitions get choreographed into the softer grids of character, of stories and poems and songs, etc., and are often spread across time to create a sense of tension and release. Alfred Hitchcock is reported to have said to his co-writer of North by Northwest, Ernie Lehman, the audience is like a giant organ that you and I are playing. At one moment we play this note, and then we get this reaction, and then we play that chord, and they react in that way. And someday, we won't even have to make a movie. There'll be electrodes implanted in their brains, and we'll press different buttons, and they'll go ooh and ah, and we'll frighten them and make them laugh. Won't that be wonderful?
But it's all about context.
It's
isn't
a way.
it? It's all about context. You know,
No, it's all about fear.
When who do you fear?
You're fearing this, but it's not going to work.